Hi everyone, this is Sarah, and I want to talk to you about marketing today because it's in my head and it's something that's been in my focus for the last couple of months with regard to social media marketing. And I actually have a business background in sales and marketing, so this is something that I've observed over a long period of time. But actually, it's kind of got me giggling because I think it's a little bit funny. And it got me thinking about the idea of, has marketing actually sort of blocked the flow of creativity? And the reason I'm asking this is, if we take it all the way back to the beginning of products where we didn't have marketing, the only marketing we had was the product itself and the person selling the product and telling you, reinforcing your need for the product and telling you what was good about the product and how it could be used and what have you. The really old fashioned, and when I say old, I mean people have sold things since the beginning of money and reciprocity. So we're going back, at least 1,000 years. So I'm really interested in what's sort of been happening to marketing over the last few years, where marketing has become a massive element of budget within companies. You've got to spend on marketing to make sales. And I was talking to one of my clients, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago, and he is actually studying a marketing degree. And we got talking about the process of marketing and how you have to follow certain steps. And he was talking to me about, focus groups and how that then defines the product that we create. And we've got to really understand the target market. And all of these are valid points. In no way am I diminishing this marketing training. And yet it's really got me thinking, because I spoke to him and I said, what are you really passionate about? What do you love doing in your spare time? And he said, I love playing video games. So I was like, okay, great. So if you were going to design a video game and bring it to market, how would you approach it? And needless to say, he repeated to me the process of marketing that we talked about just a moment before. And he said, well, I'd get a group of gamers in a room and I'd have a focus group and I'd talk to them about what they love about certain games and what they don't like about certain games. And then I'd use that framework to design my game. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, yeah, absolutely. That's one approach, and one that, might allow you to create within a framework. I said, what would happen if, just for the sheer hell of it, you suddenly found yourself with, 3 months of time, free time on your hand, and you found yourself thinking, I really want to create a video game, and I just want to create it for me and my friends because it's going to be fun. I said, how would you go about creating that? And he said to me, well, oh my goodness. He said, well, what I do, he said, I've got this idea and I'd build it within this world and I'd have this many levels and there would be all these different tools in it. And actually, I'd like to create it from a bit of a humorous perspective because I know what makes my friends laugh because it makes me laugh. And he literally reeled off with passion a framework for this game. And I said, wow, that's amazing. So you've got a really clear vision. He said, yeah. He said, I know exactly what I do. I said, wow. So if you were going to create a video game to bring to market, what stops you from taking your approach that you're really passionate about? At which point he couldn't answer me and he was like, oh, wow, I've never really thought about it like that. But it strikes me that a lot of marketing now happens this way. The marketing tail is wagging the creativity dog. So it's all this creation within a framework. And that's fine because at the end of the day, we are creatures of habit, and it seems to me that we like the knowns. Human being like knowns. It's just that we probably want to find a bit more balance here. I mean, I've been looking at a lot of social media marketing recently, and there's a lot of social media influence out there who are also running trainings and providing free courses of how I got my X million followers, etc., etc. It's just that as I've looked into a couple of these, or shall I say a handful of these, I've kind of noticed that they all follow the same format. They're just kind of recordings that pretend they're live. And then they're sort of collecting information along the way, and they use that information to create the next training course or webinar or what have you. And don't get me wrong, this is exactly how training works. I mean, when you run a live training, you take the feedback and you go, oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, or I didn't know people struggled with that, or I was unaware of that, or actually I saw it like this and everyone else saw it like this, so I'm going to alter or tailor my training so it's going to be more user-friendly next time. It's just that with so many people delivering the same message and channeling it in kind of the same way, the process becomes a little bit self-fulfilling, and it ends up that we're sort of recycling the same hamster wheel of content. Same way, different colors, different logos. And here I am thinking, so what the hell happened to creativity and passion and just creating from the heart and creating in flow with ourselves? Because we're all human, and certainly in the world of personal development, then actually we're in a position whereby generally what we have learnt for ourselves and how we've learnt to manage our minds, our thoughts, our everyday life, everything else, then surely there's got to be somebody out there that that's also going to work for. Because we're all connected in some way, shape or form. And actually the one thing I've learned from training in lots of different countries all around the world is that humans are just humans and we're all pretty similar. So generally, when something works for us or when we find something helpful, there's somebody else somewhere around the world who's also going to find it helpful or inspiring or a fuel for their creativity. So I'm really interested in that element and how we can be brave and bold and stand out and do our own thing. And balance the business side of it, because obviously you've got a lot of the same content out there which is attracting a lot of likes, attracting a lot of business, and you think, well, hey, does creativity really pay? And only you can answer that question. I'm just really sharing my thoughts and giving you something to think about, and you may or may not agree with me, and that's fine. The other thing that I want to talk about is the process that has now sort of become social media. And the question that keeps banging on my brain is, at what point did authentic become a bit of a peep show for voyeurism? I mean, have you noticed that actually there's seems to be more and more demand to see the inner lives of people? And I'm just wondering how we became the product. And don't get me wrong, I mean, we could talk about Facebook and say, well, anything that's free, we're the product. It's just that what's really interesting is that as of last year or the year before, it's very clear that neither Facebook nor Instagram or really any of these platforms are free, because even if you want to reach your actual engagers and followers, you've got to pay. So what's so interesting about the cycle of this is that as we have to pay to even reach the people that we are already connected to, we become more and more of the product. So we're told to show our real lives. We're told to show pictures of us with our spouses. We're told to share our intimate personal lives with millions of people across the internet. And, that's fine if you want to do that. It's just, from a being perspective, from a privacy perspective, from a maintaining your own energy perspective. My question is, what does that leave for you? I mean, if you're sharing your entire life in this strange kind of reality TV world, how do you keep your energy contained? How do you actually maintain your energy levels? What do you keep for you that's just for you? What actually allows you to be the individual, to hold on to your individuality and your identity without kind of reacting to, oh, did that video get liked? Oh, did that video of me talking about me with my relationship with my partner, did that get liked? And, does that mean that if we're sharing our intimate secrets and then we get more likes, does that mean that we then feel we have to share more of the inside of ourselves? Because this makes us the product, and people are not products, people are people. And for me, it shows a deep lack of trust if I say to you, well, for me to really trust giving you money or doing business with you, then I need to see you, sitting on your bed reading a book. I need to see you getting out of bed and doing your morning routine. I need to check that, if you're telling me to wake up with the sun, that you're getting up every morning with the sun, and I need to see that on video. It's really odd. It's kind of like we've taken the responsibility of using inspiration that we may or may not get from somebody else and working out how to use that in our lives. For me, it equates to a real sort of lack of trust. And that lack of trust, is that a reflection of the fact that we don't trust ourselves anymore? We don't know who we are anymore. And as a result, there's a constant need for external feedback. I mean, do we need moment by moment support to live our daily lives? I really hope not, because I'm pretty sure that every human being was born with the same resources and is pretty intelligent. So I'm really questioning this. And then, it becomes a whole process in itself, because if I'm going to sort of record my daily life, which sometimes is calm, sometimes is chaotic, then obviously I've got to think about that. And the minute I think, I've got to record this, then it becomes untrue, doesn't it? Because it isn't happening in the moment. It's me kind of observing me to see if the camera's rolling and everything else. And it's kind of a little bit contrived. Is it just me? I don't know. Maybe you feel it's really, really important to have that video connection to buy into somebody. It's just that at what point did this happen that we need to see the intricacies of how something is made step by step before we're like, yeah, we'll buy that? Because also, what we see of somebody else's life really is a reflection of us anyway. So yeah, it's really running around in my mind, and I'm thinking, what has happened? Where are we? And how did we become the product? So, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Everyone can do what they want to do. The point I want to make is that if you want to create something, if you want to create something that you put out there in the market, if you create it from your passion, if you create it from your personal learnings, without a doubt and with absolute certainty, there will be other people that will be interested in that. And there will be other people that will find that inspiring. And there will be other people that will want to collaborate with you. And there will be other people that are like, yeah, that really resonates with me. And the other question is, what is the rush? Because here we are in this instant world. I need everything instantly. And this is also how social media has become so prevalent and such a large part of our focus. It's just that realistically, I think we all know, or any of us who've been in business or run our own businesses, it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to build stuff up. It's not a matter of days or weeks, it's a matter of years. And then we might cycle through that business process with different businesses or with the same business over and over again before we get to a place where, we're really in alignment with it. We understand how it works. And just to inspire you a little bit, just thought I'd mention that, some of the top selling products of all time, Star Wars is in that category. And I have to admit, I'm the 1970s, 1980s Star Wars kind of a fan. I'm pretty sure that was created from somebody's passion and imagination. And I'm not sure it was necessarily created for the trend. Michael Jackson's Thriller album is one of the best-selling products of all time. And by the way, a bit like Bohemian Rhapsody with Queen, where they bucked the trend with a really long song, Thriller was 14 minutes. And the marketing people, the marketing advisors in that time would have gone, no, you can't have a 14-minute song. Harry Potter. Was Harry Potter contrived in a marketing place, in a marketing forum or a focus group, the first one? I very much doubt it. That was written from passion. It was written from creativity. It was written from, wow, this is amusing me. This is fascinating for me. The iPhone. Apple. As we know, Apple really fell flat on its face first time around. I can remember my dad had one of those first Apple computers, and my goodness, it was almost impossible to use, I'll be quite honest. And they went back to the drawing board and they were like, wow, how do we make it simple? How do we make it easy to use? So yeah, their second go, of course it involved feedback, just as all products do. The point is, they got there through the determination to align with their values of simplicity, ease, and basically pleasure for the consumer. Whether it was that much fun working for Apple at the time, I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't really matter. The point is, they were fiercely focused on what they wanted to create. Let me give you another one. The Rubiks Cube. Another absolute top-selling product. And it's been around forever. And people love it. Adults love it. Kids love it. Because it's a puzzle. It's a bit of a mystery. Not everyone can do it. Until you learn the knack, you can't do it. And even when you've learnt the knack, if you don't do it for a long time, you forget the knack. So it's like a whole new mystery to unlock every single time. So please, 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 just think about this engine of social media. And, whatever that social media engine does, whatever the marketing engine does, I really, really encourage you to create from your passion, to align with what's right for you. And let me tell you, you're never going to see me getting out of bed in the morning on my social media. Because actually, there's bits of my life that I keep just for me. Because this is what allows me to be who I am, to maintain my identity, to know who I am, to feel at peace, to feel calm, and to manage my energy. And I'm having no judgment about other people doing that. I'm just saying it is a choice. And when you choose to create a business, when you choose to create a product, create it from something you are so passionate about. When you see a gap in the market, when you face a problem and you think, wow, how is it nobody's done anything about this? Create from passion. It's still possible for you to be successful and create from passion. And remember that success is not necessarily defined by the number of followers you have. It's about quality. It's about engagement. It's about getting genuine reward and feedback from people who found what you put out there in the world useful. So trust yourself, create from your passion, and be who you really are. In the long run, you will be so, so happy that you did, because that success feeling will be more than followers. It'll be more than financial reward. It'll be more than, pure sales in the bank. It will be, wow, I put something out there that had impact. And that's going to feel really good.